Welcome back to our very cheap race car build, and today's episode, it's all about the engine. We're going to reuse the original engine that came in the car. Because we're on a budget, we're trying to keep things cheap, and we've got a bit of money in the kitty from the price of the car. It was really cheap, so we've got a little bit of budget to freshen this thing up. We know it's at least got one blown head gasket, it's got a corrosion issue up the back there somewhere, and it looks like it leaks oil out of just about everywhere else. So we need to get this thing pulled down, see exactly what we got, and see what this thing needs. So let's do it. Nathan's been nice enough to strip this engine down for us, and now it's apart. We can really see what we've got. We're about halfway through cleaning it up, and the bottom end of the engine is actually pretty sad. It's after speaking with the customer, he said the oil filter has actually fallen off the engine before, so the bottom end bearings are completely shot. There's a few marks on the crank. The pistons are okay wear-wise, but real heavy carbon build-up around the piston rings, and the rest of the engine's just generally really grotty. But we're hoping we can get this thing sorted with just rings, bearings, and a gasket set. We'll put a timing chain on and maybe upgrade the valve springs a little bit just to help with longevity, but we're really going to try to keep within the theme of the build with a very cheap race car. We're only going to spend money where we need to. I don't think we need to send anything out to get it machined. We've just finished reconditioning the heads. It was just a valve cut, and like I said, it'll get new valve stem seals, but everything else doesn't look too bad. The block's been that hot at one stage from the blown head gasket, it's actually twisted and you can see the wear in the bearings. But I think we'll be okay for what we need. So we're going to finish cleaning this up and start assembling. This thing's now just about ready to go back in the car, and it's actually come up pretty well. As much as it was filthy and grotty and looked terrible, it went together pretty well in the end there. Rings and bearings were about the only thing it actually needed, and a gasket set. Did have a blown head gasket. It had pushed the gasket out of the back of the cylinder head, and also the rear cover on the engine. It had eaten the gasket out of that, causing a pretty substantial water leak. The block has been hot. Not a real concern for us. We're not chasing power, we're just chasing reliability. Because we had a bit of money left over in the kitty, we've upgraded the valve springs and the timing chain as well. We won't get any more power out of this. It's just to make it a little bit stronger and a little bit more forgiving. On the outside of the engine, we had to do a few things. The harmonic balancer was cracked, so I got a new one of those. Left-hand engine mount was broken, new one of those, and we put new coil packs on, just because if we didn't do it now, we'd need it pretty soon anyway. So all up, the engine is just under $1,000. So we figure for what we've saved on the purchase price of the car, we're still ahead. We're still going pretty good. Now everything's clean, we know where it's at, we know exactly what we've got to work with, so we can shove this thing back in the car and be confident the engine won't give us any troubles.